Okay, lovely evening here in Bonifacio Global City. Weather's nice, little breeze. It's not very hot. It's about 9:30 in the evening. I'm on High Street, heading home. But I wanted to talk to you a little bit about what it's like living here. I've been here just over a year now in the Philippines, and it's been great. I love it. It's a lot different than the West, even though there are a lot of Western amenities here in BGC. It's a very modern city. It's a smart city. Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
How are you? Good, good. A lot of the Western restaurants and stores you'll see here. I'm going to take a little detour here. So it's kind of BGC's kind of a bubble compared to the rest of the Philippines. It's not really like the Philippines. So I wanted to tell you a little bit about what the Philippines are really like. When you come here, if you haven't been here before, if you have been here, put comments in. I'd love to hear what you think the biggest differences are between where you came from and living here in the Philippines. Now, yes, I've been here in BGC for just over a year, but I've been to the provinces. I've been to other cities, other islands in BGC or in the Philippines. So just even though I live here in this bubble, I know what it's like. I've experienced that culture shock, so to speak. I will tell you a story. The first time I came here to the Philippines was during Christmas of 2015, and the girl I was dating at the time, the Filipina, she was an OFW, overseas foreign worker in Hong Kong. She was a home helper in Hong Kong, working for a Chinese family, and we had been talking online and FaceTiming for it's probably about 6 months. Then she had a vacation time during Christmas, and she was coming back here to the Philippines, to her province, to see her kids and her family. And so I scheduled my vacation at the same time, and I met her here in Manila. She met me at the airport. Now I know there's those that say don't ever meet a girl at the airport because then you're attached and blah blah blah. For me, it was a good thing because my first time here, my first time flying anywhere overseas, so I needed that guidance. I needed somebody to meet me, so I knew what was going on. I knew where to go. So she met me at the airport. We stayed a couple of nights in Manila. We stayed at Hotel H2O, which is right on the bay. Really nice hotel. We had a fantastic time. And then we took the bus up to her province. I mentioned this in a previous video. I'll show you this screen here. I mentioned this in the previous video, so if you want to check out my other videos, I'll give you the full story. But it was a real culture shock for me. She lived in a small cement house. It wasn't made of wood, it wasn't made of brick. It was those cinder block. It was a cinder block house with basically a tin roof. The room that she slept in, or the room that we slept in, was a small room, maybe, I don't know, maybe 8x6, 8x8. It was very small. The only thing that was in there was like a plastic basket for our clothes, a fan, and a mattress on the floor. One of the first things I noticed when we got there, and this was in northern Luzon, which is about, it was about a 3, maybe 4 hour, I can't really remember, maybe a 4-hour bus trip from Manila to Nueva Ecija. The first thing I noticed was the geckos. The gecko, the little lizards, you know, you see on the Geico commercials. They have them all over, and they're on the wall. They're in the house. They're on the wall, and supposedly it's good luck. But it was like, it was different for me. It was like, wow, what the hell? But it was very interesting. And that first night sleeping was a trip because all I could think of, well, she turned the fan on. She goes, we'll turn the fan on so we can keep the mosquitoes away, because you don't want to get bit up by the mosquitoes, because they didn't have screens on the windows, anything like that. And the only thing I could think of all night, I wasn't worried about the mosquitoes, I was worried about a gecko falling on my face or crawling up on the mattress in the middle of the night. So I was a little worried about that. So that was quite a culture shock for me. But I was able to overcome it. I was able to understand what things are like here, and I was able to appreciate it. I mean, right outside her door was her family's rice farm, rice paddies. It's a very beautiful, I mean, it's just so picturesque. It's so neat. But it was such a simple life, and everybody was happy, and nobody complained, and they got by, and they understood that. And that was what was so neat about the Filipino life, is that they have that understanding. They don't have that need for extravagance like we do in the West. We were so used to, oh, we got a microwave, we got a stove and an oven, you know, we've got a 6-burner gas stove, we have central air conditioning, we got big screen TV, we've got internet and Wi-Fi, cable, we've got all these 2-car garage, cars, motorcycles, we have all that. They don't have that here. This is a developing country. So what you see here in front of me, BGC, is one of the most advanced cities in Southeast Asia, if not the world. It's beautiful. So we're not in a third world country. We're in a developing country where the cities like this are very nice, but when you get into the provinces, things are different. You have, your infrastructure is a lot worse. You'll have brownouts, or we call them blackouts in the States, but they're basically brownouts where you lose power for an extended period of time. It's just not conducive to what we're used to. It's not what we're used to in the States or in the West. So you have to get used to that. You also have to get used to the lifestyle. Yeah, the food's different. You know, here in BGC, I can get all the Western food. But in the provinces, you don't have that. I mean, they've got the McDonald's equivalent. They have Jollibee, which is the McDonald's equivalent for the Philippines. But other than that, it's basically you're eating Filipino food, Some good, some not so good. You just have to kind of understand that. I've grown to really like it. It's not Thai. It's not what I consider really, really good food, like Thai food, Japanese food. But it's good. I like it. The people are great. Another thing that's different from the West is it's a slower pace. Things move a lot slower here than they do in the West. Okay, so what I mean by slow, I mean everything is slower. I read a comment on one of my Facebook group sites. The guy was new in the Philippines, and he was really upset because of the customer service at the restaurant he was at. He couldn't get it. Nobody checked on him. Nobody came for his, to give him his bill. And I commented back. A lot of other people commented back. It's like, that's just the way it is here. You have to motion them over if you want anything. They're not going to come and check on you like they do in the West. You have to motion them to come over to fill your water, to get dessert, to make your order, to get your bill, to bill out, whatever it is. I will also say one other thing. They love to honk their horns here in the Philippines, no matter what. They're a horn honking country, but so things move a lot slower. It'll take you a little longer to get your food. Another thing that's different is they bring, say you have a party of 4 and you each order something, they bring your food out one at a time. So you may be 2 couples. The couple this happened to us the other day at breakfast. The couple on the other side of the table that we're eating breakfast with, they got their breakfast 15 minutes before we got ours. But you just have to get used to it. You have to understand that's just the way it is. And you also have to understand that you're in their country. You're not going to change them. You need to adapt. You need to assimilate to what they're all about. Another thing about being slow is they walk very slow. I'm a fast walker. You can probably tell. I'm trying to walk slower in these videos, but I can't help it. I always walk fast. So if you get behind a group of Filipinos, they don't walk in pairs or single file. No matter how big their group is, they walk side by side. So it could be 2, it could be 4, it could be 6, it could be 8 Filipinos all walking together side by side. So if you're walking fast, it's going to be next to impossible to get around them. So you just have to get used to that too, which is fine. But that's the whole thing. You got to get used to it, and life will be a lot easier for you. After being here over a year, I've learned to adjust. I'm from the Midwest, so things are a little more laid back there where I'm from. Then I have friends from New York, I have friends from LA who probably have a little faster demeanor. They want things quicker. So it's funny to see how they react to these things. But I think with my friends, my group here, my expat group, we've all been able to kind of adjust how things work here. But all in all, it's really great. The language barrier is not so bad here in the cities. When you get into the provinces, in the smaller populated areas, you may have an issue with English, simply because English is taught in the schools, but to be honest, in the public schools, in these smaller communities, in these smaller provinces, it's not, the education isn't as good as in the larger cities, like here in Metro Manila, Cebu, Davao City, cities like that. So you're gonna find that maybe the English isn't quite up to par as what we expect it to be. So that's another thing you have to adjust to. Another thing is, if you want to learn the language, there are so many different dialects in the Philippines. Tagalog, Bisaya, several others. So if you want to learn the dialect or want to learn the language, you have to figure out where you're going to live and what the majority speak there. But we're gonna cut it off now. I'm home. Gonna go back up to my condo and way up there on the 22nd floor and call it a night. Please do me a favor, subscribe, like, share, and let me know in your comments what you think. If you're not familiar with the Philippines, you want me to cover a topic, I'd be more than happy to dig into that if I know anything about it. If I don't, I'll find somebody who does. If you live here in the Philippines, leave your comments. Let me know what your culture shocks were. I would love to hear what you think about it. So yeah, so like, share, subscribe, hit that alert bell, so when I post another video, you get your notifications. Okay, have a great night, enjoy, and we'll talk to you soon. Bye bye.